Hello guys, welcome to my channel, and in this video I have a really cool video to show you guys how to make a honey extractor. So if you guys is a beekeeper and you don't have a honey extractor as yet, you can watch the video and go ahead and make your own. So it's going to be a 2-frame extractor because only 2 frames will be able to hold in it. So the main part of this extractor is going to be the container that the honey is going to be extracted in. So as you can see right here, this is a garbage bin. It's not used as yet. It's a new garbage bin. So when we finish making the extractor, we're going to use soap and bleach and all of that and get it sanitized. So the size of this bin is 21 inches in length, and the inside measurement would be 16 inches across. So when you guys go and look the bin to purchase, you can make sure that it's that size or a even bigger size than that, but you don't want anything smaller than 21 inches by 16. So we're going to head outside now and start the process of making the honey extractor. I won't show you everything now that you're going to need. You will have to watch the video and take your notes, everything that I used in the video, and then you can go about and purchase all the necessary stuff that you're going to need. So let's start. Yes guys, so we are outside now. As you can see, I pre-cut some pieces of boards already. I pre-cut 2 circular pieces. These are going to go together. It's going to be like a mount in the bottom of the honey extractor, and you will have to get 2 brand new bearings. As you can see, I already placed one in here in the middle of the board. It depends on the size bearings that you get, will determine the size hole that you're going to drill in the middle of the board. The bearing should fit tight in the middle of the board, so the whole thing is not spinning. You only need the middle of the bearings to spin when the honey extractor is working. So you're going to need 2. These boards, I'm going to nail them in place with some little tacks before I start to drill the 4 holes. I'm going to drill 4 holes like this to bolt these 2 boards down in the bottom of the honey extractor. So the size bin that you get, you will have to find a circle or a next container that is able to fit inside the bin without the side, the edge touching the inside of the bin. And then you're going to get the boards now and draw the circle. You're going to put the circle on the board, and then you mark the sides and cut like this. So when you do that, this is a piece of board that the frame is going to sit on in the honey extractor. So this board will be spinning inside the honey extractor. You don't want the sides of these boards, the edge, rubbing on the honey extractor. It should be spinning free inside the honey extractor. So whatever circle you're going to use to make your marks before you do your cuts, ensure that the circle spin free inside the bin, and it do not rub. If it's too tight, it's going to rub. Okay guys, so you're going to need to find the middle of this board. So in order to get the middle, you're going to need a square and a tape measure. Now this board measure 14 inches long way. So after you measure and you get your measurement, I don't know if it's going to be 14 inches like me, but it depends upon whatever measurement you get. You're going to find half of that measurement. So for me it will be 7 inches. So I place the tape measure here and I mark my 7 inches dot. I mark it here and then I get the square. I have a straight edge here, so I line up the square, ensure that it's flush with the straight edge, and then I slide this square to right where the dot is at the edge of the square, and I mark my line. So that's how I get the first half of the board. So if you measure it, the two sides should measure 7 inches on both sides. In order to get the next half now, you're not going to use the square for this one. You're going to use a tape measure, and you're going to measure from here to here. So say for example it's 5 inches. You're going to find the half of 5 inches, which is 2.5 inch. So you take the tape measure, you find your 2.5 inches, and you mark a dot wherever the 2.5 inches stop. You go at this end and you mark your 2.5 inches again wherever it stop, and then you're going to get a straight edge. It can be piece of board, it can be the same square. I said you wasn't going to use it, but you can use it. So you line up the straight edge, it can be even a ruler, and line up the straight edge with the two dots, and then you use a pen or a pencil to mark the two dots. You're going to draw a straight line and connect the two dots. So that's how you're going to end up with 4 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4. So by that time the two lines will cross each other. So wherever you see the intersection of the two lines, that's exactly where the middle of the board is. So I'm going to drill a hole right here. Okay guys, so I went ahead and bored a hole right here. You're going to need a tall piece of bolt. This measure 3 foot 4 inches, but I don't think I'm going to use all of it. It should have some form of winding on it that you can use nuts on it. So you will have to wind nuts on it. You can get one with the winding go all the way to the next end, or if you happen to get one like this, you will have to make it work. So the bolt is going to go down inside the hole. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to return and show you guys. Okay guys, so what I did, I wind a nut onto where the winding stop, and then I place a washer behind the nut, and then now I put on the board. After I put on the board, I went ahead and placed a next washer behind the board, and then I wind a second nut in place until it tightens. You want to really tighten it so the board won't move or spin. So after we get this down in the bottom of the container, bolt it down, this is going to go down inside the bearings like this. So that's how it's going to spin. Something like that. So the frames will be sitting on this board. So the next step, I'm going to get these bolted down inside the container, but I'm going to pre-drill the holes and get these two boards together. So guys, as you can see now, I have the mount in the bottom of the container, so I'm going to put it in place like this. I'm going to make sure it's in the middle of the container, and then I'm going to drill my holes, my 4 holes. I'm going to drill them, pre-drill the holes through the boards first, and then I'm going to put the board back in the container and drill the holes straight through the bottom of the container. And then I'm going to use my bolts and the washers to bolt the mount in. Okay guys, so as you can see now, I pre-drilled the 4 holes, so I'm just going to use a drill now and bore the 4 holes through the container. Then I bolt the board down onto the container bottom. So guys, I finished drill the holes and bolting up the mount to the bottom of the container now, as you can see. So we are going to move on to the next step. So guys, this is where I'm at now. I get the square and I square the board, and I draw a line here, and I did it at this end as well. I square the board and draw the line, and then you will have to get a piece of board about the thickness of a honey frame. Just get a frame, and you're going to measure how wide is the frame, and you're going to draw this line on both sides. As you can see, I did it over this side as well. So that's how wide the frame is. And remember, the bees draw out honeycombs wide, so you can't make it exactly wide like the frame. You have to make it a little wider, so you will have to make the mark a little wider than the frames, And then now that leave us right here, this little line that you see here, I'm going to drill a hole in here, and then I'm going to use a jigsaw and cut out a little rectangle right here. So this is where the little lip that is on the frame, that the frame rests on the hive box. That little lip is going to go right down in here when it cut out. So when you push the frame down in the extractor, you want that little lip to go right down in this square that you're going to cut out. That way the frame will stay one place and it won't be sliding from this end back to this end. You don't want that. You want it to be stable, so you want it to be in a little notch. So I'm going to drill a hole right here now, and then use a jigsaw to cut out a little square, and then I'm going to return. I'm going to do it on both sides over here as well. So yes guys, I just bored the holes, and here is the jigsaw. Notice the small blade that I'm going to use to cut out the rectangle. So I'm going to do that now. So here is it now guys. The frames will be going in this little square right here like this, so it will be locked in place, and it's going to go right like this as well. So the next step now is to add the hardware cloth. Here's the hardware cloth that I'm going to use guys. As you can see, it's a 19 gauge 2x2, or you can say 1.27 centimeter times 1.27 centimeter. So that measurement would be those little squares. So I'm thinking if I should put hardware cloth where this line is and on the sides. So if I put hardware cloth here and over here where this line, next line is, and on the sides, the honeycomb will be in the middle, and it will have the hardware cloth on the two sides to keep it from flashing out or breaking loose from the frame, because it will have a guide on the both sides. So I might go with that design than to just use the hardware cloth on the two sides alone. I might just put it on the four sides. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start nailing the hardware cloth in place, and then I'll return and show you guys. So guys, here is it now. As you can see, I just used some tacks, some small nails, and nail the hardware cloth in place. If you happen to have a staple gun, you can use the staples to hold the hardware cloth in place, but if not, you can go ahead and use the small nails. So the next step now, I'm not going to add the outside hardware cloth as yet. I'm not going to put that on as yet. I'm going to get a frame and get the measurement of the frame, then I'm going to bend the hardware cloth wherever the frame stop, so that this piece of board can go on top of the hardware cloth and sit on it. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to show you guys what exactly I mean. Guys, here we have it now. I get a frame, measure where the frame would stop, and then cut off the excess hardware cloth, and then I bend it inwards, as you can see right here. So this piece of board will be going on top of the mesh like this. So that leads us to finding the middle of this board now and drilling a hole so the steel will be able to go through the board. So here's the center of the board, guys. Same procedure like I show you how to do the first one, and this line is just the square line. I just use a square and square the ends of the two ends of the board. So I did it on this side too. So I just place a square on this edge and draw this line. So I'm going to drill the hole. So whenever I drill the hole now, I can slide this board onto the metal, the steel. Yes, so I'm going to do that. So I drill the hole, guys, and I push the bolt through. So this is it. So just like how we got this line down here, this is the thickness or the wideness of the frame. We're going to need to mark that wideness of the frame on this top board. So I'm just going to take it off. So guys, this board is going to be actually the same markings as the first piece of board that we did. So you're going to have these two lines. These two lines is the lines that the hardware cloth is going to be stapled onto. So these lines will be the two middle piece of hardware cloth. But this section of the board, it's going to be cut. We're going to cut out a rectangular section where the frame is going to go down through. So I'm going to take the measurement of the frame. I think the deep frames is about 9 inches or a little less than 9 inches. I'm going to take the measurement, and then I'm going to say, for example, it's 9 inches. I'm going to draw a line here where the 9 inches stop, and I'm going to cut out all of this section right here. So it's going to be the section where the frame will go down through. So I'm going to take the measurement of the frame and do that. I'm going to cut out the sections. So guys, after you draw your lines and do the cuts, you should have something looking like this. So this section now is going to be where you push the frame down through. So I'm going to put the board in place now and nail it in place onto the hardware cloth, and then we can go ahead afterwards and do the outside with the hardware cloth. So guys, I nail the hardware cloth in place now, as you can see, and this board is 2 piece, one on this side and one on the next side. I add those 2 pieces of board just to keep the hardware cloth stiff. So you should have something looking like this. So the last step on this is to put the hardware cloth on the outside now. So this part of the extractor is finished now, guys. You have to make sure you have 2 nuts and the bolt here to lock it in place so it don't pull. And now you can see where the frames is going to go inside. One frame will be going through here and the next frame will be going through here. So we are going to move on to the container now. So guys, I just went ahead and finished up the honey extractor because I noticed the video was long, so I just tried to shorten it and don't show the last steps that I did. But I'm going to show you what I did and you will just figure it out. So as you can see now, I add this board just to center this part of the extractor. So I have 2 screws, one here and one over this end. So the screws hold the board in place. So I just drill 2 holes in the container, one on this side and one over here, as you can see. So it hold the board in place, and this section, the mount in the bottom of the honey extractor, I remove one of this circular piece of board because it was too high. When I placed this section inside, it was too high, so I removed one of them. So you get the idea, guys. You can try it for yourself and add your own little twist to it. It don't have to be the same exact thing. You can make your own twist to it and improve on it. This section, this is where the honey is going to exit from the container. I don't use a honey gate. I could have used an honey gate, but I just went the cheaper route and use a turn off. So it's the same result. When you're ready to let the honey flow from the container. You just turn it and the honey will start pouring, and then you will have a next container below with the strainer to strain the honey. And for here now, I was planning to use a drill to get it to spin, but I realized after I tested, I realized that the drill stops sudden and it creates an impact on your hands. So I'm going to use a fan motor, but that will be in the next video. I will do a update to this honey extractor. I'm going to get a fan motor and mount it on top. So the motor is going to do the spinning, and you know the fan have low, number 1, number 2 and 3, so you know we can start the extractor slow, and then while the honey flash out we can step it up to a higher speed. So that's the idea that I have in mind. So for all the viewers that watch the video until this point, I thank you very much to watch the video. Thank you so much to just have the patience and watch the video all the way until this point. So I ask you please to subscribe to the channel if you like the content, like the video, comment down in the comment section. If you have any question about relating to the extractor, anything about bees, the honey extractor, something that I miss and you would like to ask about, that you can just type it in the comment section. I will reply to the comments. I will reply to every single comment. So until next time guys, peace.
When you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? 'Cause when you're with me, baby, don't you see I'm shining? 'Cause when